All right. I need to wake up. I need to get this together. I tried this last night while I was smacked, and it didn't work out. I was tired. I was low energy. I just really wanted to record and make sure that I put out an episode because I need another episode in the tuck. I don't know what's been taking me so long to release the first episode of 2020. I think it's like I'm stuck in this analysis paralysis. Like I know the new direction I want to go in, and so I'm like so focused on making that perfect that I'm not really focusing on anything else, and it's doing me a huge disservice. So I need to stop doing this and just put out shit. Like that's how I did it before. That's how I need to continue to do it. Is just put the shit out. Stop thinking everything is gonna be perfect. Stop thinking that it's gonna be the best released ever. Like no, I need to just continue to create, continue to, get better at this and continue to figure out what works for me. Like, I'm brand fucking new. This is my issue. This is my problem. This is why I struggle the way that I struggle, is because, and not to like toot my own horn or like be extra or anything like that, but it's like when you grow up a quote unquote gifted kid, a lot of your expectations for yourself are very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very unrealistic. Like it's unrealistic to believe that everything I do I'm going to be amazing at it the first time. Like everything I do I'm just going to automatically be a genius. I'm going to automatically just get it and it's going to be fine. And I really be believing that. Like I really be believing that if I don't get things right the first try, that then there's something wrong with me, and that it's not, that's not for me. Rather than to keep trying, keep getting better, keep doing it, I just be like, this ain't for me. I'm off this until I find the next day. So I got to stop doing that, and I got to get out of my head in doing that. So that's what we're doing today. Y'all see, I got a new mic stand. I got headphones now, so I could like check and be on my it. I'm an idiot. It's first thing in the morning, and I'm already acting up. But no, yo, and hello, it's me. Just call me T Marie, and welcome to yet another episode of PCPOV. It is 2020. We done made it through January, although, January came and went kicking and screaming. R.I.P. Kobe, R.I.P. Gianna. It was a couple of other people who passed as well. NASCAR driver, something Arquette, I forgot his name, but RIP to him as well. I probably should Google it and not be rude, but I didn't really watch NASCAR. My, I guess, step pops loved NASCAR. He actually bought me like a NASCAR chess slash checkers shot glass set. Which I haven't used, as a matter of fact. I'm looking at it right now, but I haven't used it yet. But I think that's kind of dope. Like you use it with dark and white liquor, and as you check and checkmate, you get to take a shot. But no, seriously, RIP to everybody. I get real weird around death. Let me just say that. I don't really handle death and illnesses well. I don't really handle a lot of stressful things like that well. My go to is always crack jokes, always make it lighter than what it is, just so I don't have to deal with those emotions. It doesn't always work. It isn't always the answer, but that's how I cope and that's how I deal. Sue me. But no, in all seriousness and honesty, like it's never good, a good feeling to lose a life. So to all the people that we've lost thus far into 2020, RIP and condolences to the families. Um, what else can I say has been going on? It's been interesting. It's been interesting. Since 2020 has started, I myself have started a lot of new different things. I'm now responsible for tutoring and mentoring and molding the mind of a young 8-year-old girl. I see her practically every day, trying to get her to pay attention, to less to social media, more to math and those types of things. She's of age to where they're taking state tests and shit. So, I remember what those days were like, but this new math shit is just weird. Like, I pray for all the parents out here that gotta go against what their brain tells them to teach their kids to kind of conform to like this new way of teaching. Like, to me, we used to do multiplication of triple and double digits by you do it line by line. You take the number in the ones and you multiply it against the top, then you go down, you put the little dash, and then you do the number in the tens, multiplied across the top, and then you add it up at the bottom and you get the answer. Now they do something called partial product, and you gotta multiply it out instead of lining it up. You gotta draw this like thing, and like it's just so long and so drawn out, and I think it's making the kids dumber because they're not able to memorize the steps. Like, I memorized steps as a kid. PEMDAS was a step. Keep change change was a step when you like multiplying and dividing fractions and all of that shit. Like, you had these little mnemonic devices that you could say and do to help you remember these things, and these kids don't have that. Like, it just watching her struggle sometimes to do her homework, it's just it makes me feel sad because it's like you're not even really giving these kids a full chance to be at their full potential, the best and the brightest. And she goes to a freaking charter school, for crying out loud. But that's not my business. I don't have no kids yet, so I don't really got to worry about it. But it is something that's constantly like at the forefront of my mind. It's like you gotta raising kids now is completely different. Not only do they have the distractions of the internet and TikTok and challenges and this, that, and the third and blah blah blah. Like, they have all of these things, but it's just one of those like, whew, I can't. I look forward to the day that I will be blessed to be a parent, but I'm also scared shitless. So we gonna see. We gonna see. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I do that. I've been doing more networking now. I've been trying to go out, meet people, be social and shit, because that's not my strong suit. Well, let me not say that's not my strong suit. I take that back. Being social where I'm comfortable is my strong suit. I've more so been working on what happens when I'm uncomfortable. Because, see, my face doesn't know how to use its inside voice at all, right? My friends, y'all know this. Y'all know me. My facial expressions has no inside voice. So for me, I feel like, putting myself in these uncomfortable positions and these uncomfortable situations, going places dolo, making myself talk to people on the train, uh, you know, little things like that are becoming like a everyday thing for me in 2020. Like, I try to do maybe one thing at a time. Like, even sitting here doing this podcast dolly, this is uncomfortable as shit. I feel so weird. Like, I'm looking at myself in the screen. I'm trying to like keep glancing at myself on the computer, but this is weird as fuck. Like, I applaud anybody who could sit here and just talk to a mic or talk into their camera and not feel like a complete, weirdo loser. Like, I applaud the fuck out of y'all because I feel like, bitch, you should have friends. Like, you should have somebody here to sit and talk to. Like, you don't got to talk to yourself. Like, people. But, it's one of those things where you got to push yourself out of your comfort zone. You got to get more comfortable. You got to get more confident. Like, that's my biggest thing. Like, my biggest fear is, pcpov blowing up and then people saying like, oh, well, it was never because of you. It wasn't your production. It wasn't your, putting the show together. It wasn't your anything. It was the people you had on. Everybody else made the show, but we don't know or care for you specifically. So I'm told myself that this year I'm gonna do more episodes dolo, and if you don't like just listening to me, then oh well, somebody else will. But nah, seriously, like, this being uncomfortable and getting comfortable being uncomfortable is definitely on my list of things to do for 2020, and here I am. So before I get too carried away, let me get right into it. I do want to start talking about these topics. I'm trying another new thing this year. I'm actually going to have a structure to the podcast. Like, I've been, out and about and talking to people, and folks like segmented stuff. I've been on shows and they do segmented things because now we realize people's attention spans are very, very short. And I ain't nobody yet. Y'all don't know me. I don't know shit about me. So why should y'all sit and listen to me ramble for an hour and some change? And y'all don't even care. So we're going to set it up to where, consider this the intro. I might put an ad or something right here. And then now, the next segment, I guess, would be like our current events. And I decided to name it What Had Happened Was. Because even though we like to say current events, like sometimes that's not how it happened, why it happened, or whatever, and we end up not getting all of the. That's another thing I gotta work on is enunciation. All of the details. So I just want to do a little weekly recap of what had happened. And this is more so 2 weeks because I took a break in between, my first episode recording of the year and this one. So this is going to be 2 weeks worth of what had happened was. And let's just say a lot of these things are just like ridiculous. So the very first what had happened was that I had was Meek Mill versus Mr. and Mrs. Petty. So now at this point they have had round two. When I originally wrote this list, it was when Nikki and Mr. and Mrs. Petty, which is the perfect name for never mind. Mr. and Mrs. Petty were in some designer store, and she happens to stumble across her ex. We've all been there. You be out with your new boo, you see your old joint, y'all exchange eyes, you hit them with the "you see me," and they may or may not react. Well, Mr. Mills reacted. They got into a shouting match. Mr. Petty and Mr. Mill, were yelling back and forth. Mrs. Petty is, hyping it as a New York woman would. And it was just a mess. It was just a hot ass mess. Nobody was there to see that. It just looked bad. Like it really and truly just looked bad. Then the Rock Nation brunch happened. They had that meme, of Meek explaining to everybody like, yo. And then I told him, my nigga, you got on ACG boots. And that meme goes viral real quick. Next thing you know, now it's on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and blah blah blah, and they going back and forth, and that escalates into what we see now with last week with the Twitter exchange. Nikki alleges that Meek put hands on her. Meek then claims publicly his girlfriend and announces that she's expecting their child. So it's just like y'all did all of that just to say that y'all are both in relationships and y'all are both supposedly happy, but for some reason y'all can't stop beefing with one another and y'all broke up umpteen months ago. That's essentially what it is. Like, people be forgetting these celebrities are people. Yes, they got money. Yes, they're easily recognizable. Yes, they're on the radios and in the homes of millions and thousands of people. But at the end of the day, they are still humans. They are still ghetto boys and girls from the hood that got a little bit of bread and notoriety. That does not change who they are on the inside. And this is just a typical relationship. This is typical shit. You still love your ex, but you mad that y'all can't be together because y'all are toxic as fuck. You know that. You know the two of y'all don't go good together. Nikki done brushed his hair in the wrong direction. He too pussy to say anything to her about it and just let the video go and circulate around. And now we here. It happens. Oh well. Like, y'all got to get over it. Either y'all going to be honest about it and be like, listen, I hate how we ended, blah, blah, blah. But now you with somebody and I'm with somebody. So we just going to have to keep it cute. Or y'all just don't say shit to each other. Act like the other one's dead. That's what I do. If I can't get along with any of my exes, you're dead to me. Like, have a moment of silence, RIP, and then I go on with my life. Like, legitimately. Like, I will dead be in the same room with an ex with his new bitch and not say two words. Ask about me. It's been done. Like, I'll act like I don't know you in the street. I will walk right past you. Or I could even keep it cute, give you hugs, say hey to your new bitch. God forgive me for saying I'm trying to be nicer. But I only say bitch because I don't know these people individually. But I don't have a problem playing it either way. My issue has always and will always be is you not gonna make me look dumb. Like I'm not gonna argue with you on social media. I'm not gonna argue with you in the street. I'm not gonna cause a scene in those manners to where I look dumb. Like I don't like to be wrong and strong. Like that to me, that is like the worst. And Nikki has been wrong and strong in dealing with this man that she broke up with, or who broke up with her, whichever one. I don't care. And then it got really nasty on Twitter at that. Like to make add insult to injury. Like it's even worse. Like she started alleging that he put hands on her and that they had domestic violence issues. He starts alleging that she knew about her brother and his, child molestation and how he was a perv and a creep and da 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 da. He cut deep. It was like, yeah, I can't fuck with you and y'all peoples. Y'all support that because, it's rumored, allegedly, that her man is also a convicted rapist. And so now people are trying to say that it's a pattern, that she is known for supporting and standing by sexual abusers. And that's just not a good thing, that you want around you, especially when you already have a reputation of being a toxic female, of not being able to get along with other women, of, not being able to maintain other female friendships and blah, blah, blah. Like, it doesn't look good because now you look like a woman who is an enemy of women, and that's never a good look, especially when you're supposed to be on a platform of woman empowerment, and you gave all of these new women rappers like a style guide, a lookbook, a visual blueprint of what to do and what to be able to come out and be successful now. So it just doesn't look good. So, I thought this marriage would have finally made her happy. I thought the marriage is what all that she ever could have wanted. Like, Nikki is damn near 40 at this point. Like, relax, sis. Like, have some kids. You're married now. You don't have to be a baby mama. Like, if you want, throw that in people's face. Like, go have a baby and then throw it in their face that your baby isn't a bastard. Like, do other things. Like, do whatever else. But don't do this. Like, and I didn't mean to say that, that's what people should do. But do anything other than this. Like, stop beefing with your ex. Like, that's it. Like, just stop beefing with the man. He's moved on. He's has his own issues and legal troubles that he's got to get through and all of that, or he had to get through and all of that. But this just looks bad. Like, anytime a woman is like beefing with her ex while in another relationship, that shit just looks weird as fuck. Anybody, and I don't even want to just say women, because that's my thing. I don't want to be, partial to just saying women. Anybody in a relationship, you're supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be focused on that relationship and that relationship only. Don't you go worried about their ex, your ex, the next ex. Like, don't worry about none of that shit. Worry about doing all that you can to make your relationship last, because the more you taunt your ex, the more you taunt your bae's ex, the more you do any of that, is the more fragile your relationship becomes. Because the minute that shit disintegrates, the minute something goes wrong, they now have all the ammo and all of the reasoning behind wanting to watch your downfall. And you don't want to ever do that. You don't ever want to give people a reason to root for your downfall. People do that on their own anyway, without reason. People will wish bad on your relationship without no reason whatsoever. Like, they'll just do it just to fucking do it. That's whack, but people will do that shit. But don't go out there giving them a reason to. Like, there's been plenty of reasons for me to wish on other niggas that I've dealt with or whatever for their relationships to crumble. Like, bitches have gone out their way to try to fucking, antagonize me, and I just be minding my business. I promise you. I really just be minding my business. I've never been an ex to, pop up on my ex. I've never been an ex to, comment or say nothing funny or blah, blah, blah. Like, I've never been that chick. Like, to me, it just is a waste of energy. And I said I was leaving the word energy out of 2020, but in this regard, yes, it's a waste of energy to go through all of that, because only time will tell. Because you could do all of that and the people end up happy, married, and then you look like a bozo. Or you could do all of that and them niggas break up and now you still look like a bozo because you was a hater the whole time. So to me, just leave your ex alone. Go be, but then again, your name wouldn't be Mrs. Petty if you just did that. So hate to see it. That's all I can say is hate to fucking see it. I already spoke on the R.I.P. Kobe. That's just so sad. Like, since it happened, so many details have come out about, the pilot wasn't registered to fly the helicopter at that time. The fog was bad, the visibility was low, all of these different reasons for why they shouldn't have done it. And they did it anyway and had to pay with their lives. That shit hurts. Like, people talk about it all the time. Like, Kobe takes the helicopter all the time. He does it all the time. It's regular. It's routine. The clips came out where he was talking about, yeah, that's the best way for me to still be able to be a dad to my kids. Like, I could work, do that. I could either be in a car for 2 to 3 hours in traffic, or I could take a 45-minute helicopter ride and be there to pick my kids up after school. And it's like, that's admirable. Like, that is admirable. However, sometimes you gotta know when to, like, just be like, nah, this ain't it. Yes, he had to be to work. Yes, he had to be at his what you call a camp. But you know when it comes to certain, like, nature things, weather, inclement weather, you know, safety and all of that, sometimes you gotta just be like, nah, today ain't it. I'm here every other day. Today I can't be here. And I think that that's what it is. Like, we push so far for, like, perfection, right? Like, people have gone, like, above and beyond with this hashtag Mamba mentality, because it's been known that Kobe was, a very adamant person in perfection, in practice, in doing your best, and being prepared, and all of that stuff, and being a stand-up guy. Like, all of the quotes, all of the stories shared, everything. Like, that that's who he is. But even with that, sometimes you gotta understand that, you know, sometimes today ain't it. And not to say that every day gotta be like that. But if you put forth that effort 9 days out of 10, that 10th day you deserve to be like, you know what, I'm gonna be late. We gonna wait to see if this fog clears. That's all it would have took. Is, nah, we not gonna rush to get there. Let's see if this clears up first. Let's see if we get the go ahead first. Let's see. Things could have been different. Things could have been different. And I only bring that up to point out that even in my life, there's things that, I felt like I need to do this right now. I gotta get this done right now. Like, right now, if I don't do it right now, it's not gonna get done. And it's just like, nah, right now may not be it for you. Right now, it may not be meant to happen. That's why I kind of thank God that, I don't pray as much as I should, but I pray enough to where I know when I'm being held from something, and I know when something is just not meant for me to do. You know what I mean? Like, y'all know them type of ways. Like, you don't gotta be a super Christian or super, religious or whatever, but just to be in tune and having a relationship with God, and just being able to be like, you know what? As much as I wanted this to happen, you ain't make it happen for a reason, and I just gotta trust that your reason is better than mine for one. Your reason for it not happening is better than my reason for why I want it to happen. And, I'm just learning that in instances like this, when it comes to your safety, when it comes to your life, when it comes to your health, when it comes to your well-being, sometimes you got to just be like, nah, I'm going to wait. It may make somebody else upset. It may make somebody feel some type of way. Oh, you're late. Oh, you missed it. Oh, you blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but I had to wait. I had to let the fog clear. And so, while people are still mourning, I don't know if they said that the services are um, supposed to happen on the 24th. So they're doing it on 2/24. Um, you know, prayers and condolences to the families of everyone involved. Um, and I just hope that people look at these instances and, see that life is very precious. Life is very fragile. The human body can withstand so much, but the one thing it cannot do is defy death. And if God says it's your time to go, You just gotta, honor and I don't do good with that. So I can't even really get into it like that because I've lost a lot of the elders of my family very early in life. So to me, it's like I didn't really have to go through the losing of close relatives as an adult. So for me, like I get very uncomfortable talking about death. I couldn't imagine losing my dad, losing a sibling, you know what I mean? Like a husband. Like I could not imagine. So I just want to say prayers and condolences to everybody affected, and I'm gonna just leave it at that. And I'm gonna take a break. All right. I had to woosah for a second, get my thoughts together. I be forgetting. I'm recording this shit. I'm producing this shit. I'm not wasting nobody's studio hours. I could take as many breaks as I feel like it. Like if I want to pause this bitch right now just to take a break, I could do that. But I be forgetting. Like I run this shit. But no, seriously. What's next on this what had happened list? Power last episode. So let me just go ahead and say spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. I'm talking about everything. Everything power related, everything. 6 seasons. We done gone through it. It's over. It's a dub. We found out who shot Ghost. I can't say that I'm shocked. I was expecting it to be somebody else. I was really expecting it to be Tasha, but I can't say that it was trash. Like everybody is so hyped to want to say, "Oh, Power is trash," and Power da 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 da. Power wasn't trash. What I feel happened was when season 4 ended, they thought they was going to at least season 10. When they got the word that them shits was gonna get cut off, and remember when Bay was out there, talking crazy about stars and he gonna pull it and da 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 da. I think when that came up, they ran out of time and they had to wrap the story up as quickly as possible. And so this is what we got: season 5 and season 6. Season 5 was a setup for it happening, and season 6 was, it happened. I don't think it was horrible. I just think that the plot holes and the, how certain things happen were just a little ridiculous. But again, they rushed it. With all of these, new seasons about to come out, I could see why they probably rushed to wrap all of that up because now they want to start planning for the future and how they're going to continue the power legacy, so to speak. Tyreek, I've been thought he needed his ass beat back from like season 3. Like somebody needed to put hands and feet on that little boy, and they didn't. And now you got this. And to all the people who are like, "Oh, if you beat your kids, you make them, abusive, and you make them da 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 dysfunctional, yada yada yada." What happened? Cause I ain't see him get his ass beat not now time on Power, and he done pulled the whole ass gun and shot his pops. So clearly, spare the rod, spoil the child. He was as spoiled as they freaking come. That nigga was in all types of public schools. His dad had him meeting the mayor, opening clubs and all types of shit. Had him in suited and booted, looking good. All of this got you into choke, into this, into that. Was paying all of this money for all of these things, and you still want to talk on some. I want to sell pills and get mixed up and niggas that don't even look like you. Like, let's get into that. Like, I could understand him getting close to Kanan, right? Because Kanan was the big gangster. Kanan was like, super thug, all of that. So I could see him wanting to emulate Kanan and be down with him. Because your pop seems kind of, soft. He wants to change. He wants to go straight lace. He don't want to be that dude no more. So he might seem corny to you. But Kanan don't seem corny. So yeah, now you want to follow Kanan. But when he got mixed up with Vincent and was selling pills for Vincent and betraying his dad for some Italian niggas who gives no fucks about you, I thought that was odd. Like Tommy is different. Tommy's white, but he not white white. He's like off white. He's like, eggshell, ecru if you wish. But I just didn't understand that. Like all of the reasons that Tyreek had to be mad, I'm just like, but you lived in a penthouse though. But you went to private school though. But you got money for this though. And I just never got it. But it's like, it's one of those things. People be like, the grass is always green on the other side. And it's like, well, hopefully it's green where it's at in that school that he in while his mama's in jail and his daddy is dead because he shot him. Like, ain't that funny? Kanan shot his son. Tyreek got Kanan shot and then went and shot his dad. That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm sure there are other like parallels and connections and shit like that in the show, but I just haven't been able to put them together because I watch shows from a perspective of I want to watch the show. I don't want to dissect the plot line. I don't want to, make predictions. I don't want to, figure out what the director was trying to. No, I want to watch the show and be entertained. I don't want to dissect anything. I don't want to, compare or take notes or anything. Like, I watch for the sheer enjoyment of it. And I mean, kudos to the people who do, because there's some people who get so deep into it. Like, I follow what's his name? What the hell is his name? And I follow someone on Instagram that pointed out that they hate the fact that it ended the way that it did, where Tyreek let his toxic mother poison his mind against his father, to so much so that he ends up dead. And I didn't even think about it like that. Like, the narrative, like, basically that idea of this is the narrative that power is leaving people with. That you can poison your child, that a black woman could poison a child's mind so much so against their parent that he will willingly pull a gun on and kill said person. And that to me was just like, damn, I didn't think about that. Like, I just thought, oh, it's foul. She set up the single father Q and try to let him take the rap for, killing him while she's fucking him and doing all of that shit. Like, I thought that was just whack. Like, who does that? Like, why would you even do that? And why would you think that, because somebody, because Dre was the suspect, and because he died, then now all of a sudden that means they're gonna need another suspect. Why? He killed Ghost. Ghost people found out and killed him while he was in jail. Boom. Case closed. Wrap this shit up, B. All the cops had to say is, listen, James St. Patrick is exactly who we said he was. Look at here, he was murdered by another known drug dealer turned informant that we had, Mr. Andre Coleman. Andre Coleman then, had a deal go bad and shot Mr. St. Patrick, and then Mr. St. Patrick's people, the part of his organization, found out and knew that Mr. Coleman was staying in this facility, and they organized a hit on Mr. Coleman, and now both parties are involved dead. We were right, case is closed, all of the bad guys are now deceased. 1, 2, 3. Tasha didn't even have to do that, but the fact that Tasha constantly, like, is put out there as a bad person, like, she low-key is. First, she was a hoe for fucking everybody, which I did the count. She only had, like, 4 niggas the whole series. Well, 4 niggas in 6 seasons is a lot. For her to still be a married woman. I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. But for her to be a married woman, because they never got divorced. They just got separated. They never got divorced. But for her to be a married woman, she definitely was out here getting some dick. Like, she was out here busting it wide open every chance she got. First it was Sean, then it was Terry, then it was well, first it was Ghost, then it was Sean, then it was Terry, then it was Q. And it's like, literally, she meets them, she fucks them. She meets them, she fucks them. Like, I mean, granted, she wanted them to help her, but and let me just say, shout out to Q for being smart, because I would have never thought about that. Shorty told him, oh, stay in the car. And he had the wherewithal to be like, nah, bitch, I'm going to go in this CVS real quick. And I'm going to let them catch me on camera so that if anything goes down, I wasn't there. That nigga was a smart man.
So, and then for him to tell her, like, yo, Tasha, tell them I was in the car. Like, tell them. Like, he gave her an opportunity, and she sat there mute. And so now this is what happened. So, I look forward to. I get looked at crazy because I said I look forward to, you know, what's it called, Power Book 2. I look forward to seeing it because I want to see what Tyreek becomes. I want to see how Tasha holds this bid. Like, I want to see if she really built like that. She talking all of this. You gotta be the biggest drug dealer of all New York, Ghost, and you're the you talking all of this hot shit, sis. I want to see if you hold it down. I want to see you murdered your best friend. That's kind of cold blooded. That's a little gangster. That's a little too gangster for me because I don't know if I could really pull a trigger in somebody's face. Like, that's a friend, somebody that I called my friend. Granted, if we beefing, granted, if we not talking to each other, like, I can't even technically hit one of my friends, let alone pull a gun on and shoot. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a little different. Like, I would more so try to, either take something from her or threaten to take. I would have took the paper and threatened to tell Tommy, like, yo, if you go, I'm gonna show Tommy that you been setting him up and did it. I would have did anything else other than that fight that they had in the house, but we gonna see what happens. I look forward to Mary. She did really, really good on Umbrella Academy. Well, not really, really good, but she did good enough in Umbrella Academy that I'm interested to see her in this type of role. It was speculated between me and my cousin that she might be, maybe Ghost's mom, or in the flashback or whatever. But we gonna see. And what else I said? Who else I'm looking for? Oh, and I'm looking forward to I said Tyreek. I'm not really looking forward to a Sax story. I don't really like Sax. Sax is that cop, or not even that cop. Sax is that scumbag that just gets away with shit. Like, you ever know one of them people that they just, no matter what they do, no matter how shady they are, no matter what happens, like, shit just goes in their favor. Like, that shit grinds my gears. Like, it so, and it's not like a jealous thing, it's not like a hate thing, it's just one of those, like, you really ain't shit, but yet things keep working out for you. Like, how does that happen? Like, what do you, the fuck, like, ugh. But we're gonna see, because he was a dick to John in that last scene. He was a dick to Rodriguez, but she deserved it because that bitch went way too hard. Like, you was there to investigate dirty cop Angela. Now you want to get involved in all of this other shit. That's why you got decked in your eye. Take your ass on and mind your fucking business. You can't be like, niggas be wanting to be super cops for the wrong shit. That's what it really boils down to. Like, that's all I really learned from Power. Before I wrap this particular topic up, all I really learned from Power is that niggas be wanting to be super cop for the wrong shit. Like, why they wasn't looking for the Serbians? Why they ain't never was looking for the Italians in the mob? Like, why they was never looking for any of them other niggas, but they just was dead set on trying to get Ghost. As hard as he was going to be legit, as hard as he was going to turn his life around and leave the crime alone, niggas wanted to go so fucking hard to get his ass. And look at where y'all all end up. Hate to see it. But yeah, I don't think it was trash. I appreciate it for what it was. And Bay did his thing. I see you, boo. What else? What else? Oh, speaking of Bay, he also got a Hollywood star. So I'm very happy about that. Because of Power, because of everything that he's been doing, he's finally been found deserving of a Hollywood star. I went to LA, what was it, 2018? Yeah, the summer 2018, and I had a blast. I saw a bunch of different, stars of, people that I love. And now that Bay has one, I need to make another trip. Like, I need to go back out there. I need to take a picture, like laying on his star or something, which is going to be gross, but I don't care because that's Bay. And I think that's like the closest that I'm going to get to a hug because I have yet to get one in my life. I've met this man a total of 2 times in my life. No, I got a hug, but I haven't gotten a picture with him. The first time I met him, I got a hug, got a tweet back. Second time I saw him, I wanted to get a picture, but his security folded a nigga like a chicken wing just for approaching him. And I sobered up real quick. Like, I was a little tipsy. I was in super fangirl mode. I was ready to like fall and like throw myself at him, but the man in front of me did all of that and got put in like a super yoke, like this or some dumb shit. And I sobered up real quick. It was just like, you know what, Mr. Jackson, it's been real. But no, I'm gonna get my picture with him. I'm putting that in the universe. 2020 is the year that I'm going to get my picture with Mr. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, and that's gonna be that. What else? What else? What else? Oh, so this I really wanted to talk about because I just think it was so fucked up, right? So as we know, Terry Crews and Gabrielle Union was both on America's Got Talent. Terry Crews was like the new host. He took over for what was it? Nick Cannon, I believe, was before him. And before that, I think was Tyra Banks. Was it America's Got Talent? It might have. Yeah, it might have been America's Got Talent. Or these shows might be running together in my head, but it doesn't matter. Gabby was a judge, and he was the guy who talked to the contestants like on the side of the curtain. When Terry Crews came out and said that he was sexually assaulted, by an exec and, all of that, and all the men were like clowning him and all of that, Gabby came to his defense and was like, nah, this shit is real. It happens to women and it can happen to men too. And she stood by him, and that was, she was a sister in solidarity. Now the tables turn and she gets fired for being too black. They talked about her hairstyles, changed every episode or some dumb shit, or that, they were too ethnic because sometimes she had braids, sometimes she had, all of these different things, shit that black women do. So now all of this comes out about they're racist, they're this and they're that. And rather than have her back, Terry decides to come out and say, oh, I've never experienced anything like that. I've never experienced any discrimination. They're the most inclusive and diverse people I've ever seen. What is she talking about? This is insane. And everybody kind of just was like, wait a minute, why are you throwing her under the bus? Then he doubles down on it and is like, oh no, the only woman I'm supposed to protect is my wife. All y'all other bitches is fair game. Like, what you thought? Then the backlash comes even more. So now I'm just sitting here like, damn, Terry, like, what happened to having, like, fuck them other niggas because I'm down for my niggas? Like, what happened to that? She was down for you, saving, defending you when niggas was calling you soft and talk about how you so big and got all these muscles and you let a little white man grab your dick in front of your wife and what kind of coon and this, that, and the third and yada, yada, yada. Like, niggas was really dragging him. Like, really dragging him, which was sad because it's like, that's what a lot of men complain about. A lot of men complain that when they're sexually assaulted or when they're wrongfully or done wrongfully, in the workplace or harassed or anything like that, people don't take it seriously. And the world showed their asses and showed that that's exactly what they do. She came to his defense. She didn't have to. She got a whole ass husband. She could have minded her black ass business and not said a word. But because you are a black man, just like she is a black woman, and y'all are in a white space, and you feel that you were done wrong, she stood by you. So why wouldn't you then do the same for her? Why would you go so hard to throw her under the bus the way that you did? And to this day, we don't have an answer. To this day, we don't have an answer. And it just makes me wonder, like, how is his career going to go? Like, black people in general love Terry Crews. He's funny. He's Damon in, in the Friday movies. He was in White Girls, had us cracking up. He was in Training Day. People don't really remember him in Training Day, but he's been a huge part of like black culture, and people don't even clown him for having a white wife. He is one of the very few celebrities that you don't really hear people like coming at him about having a white wife. Like, you almost forget that his wife is white. But now when you do shit like that, like, you just put the magnifying glass right on your life to where now it's like, oh, did he ever really fuck with us, or was it just for a check? Did he ever really stand by black people in the shit that, happens, or was it just to get paid? You know what I mean? And that just makes people look at you funny in the light a little bit. And I hate that it had to happen. I feel like Gabby handled it so, classily, class, classy, classily. It's one of those words, but she handled it very well. Him, unfortunately, not so much. So I mean, I haven't really heard no other news about it. So maybe it's over. She ain't gonna get her job back, unfortunately. But I hope that his next project does well. That's all I can say. I hope people forget. I hope, you know, current events and viral moments happen between now and his next, movie release to where people forget about that. But as of right now, nah, fam, we can't have that. So sorry. What's next? What's next? What's next? Uh, Representative Ayanna Presley came out as bald. So now, 2020, right? Election year. This whole situation with the 45 impeachment, that ain't go the way that niggas thought it was. Well, no, that went exactly how people knew it was going to go. Once you knew the Senate was majority Republican. Like, y'all knew that shit wasn't going to hold, next to nothing. But 45's whole presidency has opened up so many people's eyes to politics. Like, I was just in here watching, SNL with my homie, and they do like the little mock debates and shit. And the fact that I could identify so many different representatives by who they were pretending to be, like, that's a huge thing. Not only does that show that I'm getting old as fuck, but all of these people have crossed over into pop culture one way or another because of 45. That it more people now are aware of 2-year elections, 4-year elections, local representatives. All of this stuff is now known to people young and old. Like, you have kids in like high school, college age, 18, fresh, and they know these people, they know these laws, they know what these folks stand for, these representatives. And I think that that's amazing. I think that that's what the world has needed for so damn long. Like, I remember me turning 18. The only reason why I was hyped to vote was because Obama was running, and that was huge. It was the first black man to even be qualified, considered, allowed to like be in it for real and actually have a chance. And as much as people want to say, oh, it was a plan, it was planned, it was this, I don't give a fuck. It happened, and I lived to see it and be a part of it. And that's all that mattered to me. If it wasn't for that, I would still not pay attention to politics to this day. But Ayanna Presley came out. I think she's part of, AOC and the other two women of color. They call themselves the Squad. Um, she came out as having alopecia and admitted to wearing wigs and hair extensions. And she debuted herself last month as being completely bald. And that shit made headlines everywhere. And to me, that just goes to show, like, people talk about these wigs. People talk about, dreadlock bands and, hair discrimination and all of that. Some of these people are really dealing with like self-esteem, like issues on the inside that reflects in the way that they wear their hair and the things that they do. And it doesn't matter. Like, seeing her come out and be like, listen, this is it now. This is me. I've been bald for, X amount of time, all of this stuff. I don't really know the full story. Let me just be honest. I just saw the headline and I saw the pictures and I just was like, oh, wow, like, that's incredible that she has the brave, because that's brave. Like, I know people talk about bravery and they call everything brave, but that, being a black woman and shaving everything like skin bald, like shine bald. Like, I see black women with Caesars all the time, finger waves all the time. But bald? That's a new one. Like, when Shorty on Top Model had to do it, I felt for her because she was like, lighter skin, you could tell that her hair was like everything to her, but she herself was suffering from alopecia, and so they decided to shave her all the way bald. But just watching her transform after that was amazing. And I hope the same happens for Ayanna Presley, because it's a black woman and her hair. Listen, they talk about Gabby switch it up. I was like, damn, well, if you bald, that means you get to have all your laces always laid, sis. Like, you better own that shit. And you're gorgeous. Like, not everybody's face can pull off bald, shortcuts, pixie cuts, none of that shit. So, thank God you had the shape, the head shape, and the face shape to be able to wear that shit confidently. And so, go forth and be you and be happy in being you. Because I know me, I ain't able. I ain't able at all. Like, mm-mm. I don't know what the back of my head, like, I feel like maybe like right here is a little flat. So I don't even know if I got the right like roundness to even be able to pull some shit off like that. So I applaud her. And I just put that out there. I wanted to go into like a whole spiel of all of the other, unknown black and brown heroes, women specifically, in Congress, in these places that are male dominated. But that was like 2 weeks ago, and I didn't prepare, so I gotta come back to that. But what else? What else had happened? Um, hmm. Humans of New York. Humans of New York have been. Humans of New York has been doing a number with these damn stories. So Humans of New York is this page on Facebook. They share these stories of, random people in New York. And everybody here has a story. I promise you. Everybody that lives and breathes in New York City has a story to tell. And the last couple of times that Humans of New York have published stories about people, they have been amazing. Like the very first one that had me checking for them again was Tangeray. Tangeray was this older black lady, ex-sex worker, and she told the story of how she used to party with the mob, how them niggas used to treat her nice, all of this stuff. Like, she was a hot mama. Her picture with her and her little fur and her hat and all of that, and it was much too much for me to take. But then recently now, it was another story of this black man by the name of Bobby Love. Bobby Love's real name was Walter Miller, which I immediately thought of Walter from Black Ink, and I was like, oh shit, that's kind of crazy. But Walter Miller was an escaped convict from jail who hopped off of a bus, made his way, in North Carolina, made his way to New York, married a woman, got a job, had kids, lived a whole ass life for 40 years before he was caught. Imagine living your whole life with a man from age 20 something, 21 to 60, 61, 62, and waking up one morning to the police telling you that that man is not who you think he is. He is a convicted felon who escaped from jail and has been on the run ever since. I would shit myself. Cause one, I would be so angry, but I would be so angry with myself because I'm like, damn, how did I not know? Like, my instinct is always to go to, how did I fuck this up? Forget about you lying to me. Forget about you doing all of this shit. How did I not know you were lying? How did I allow myself to be blinded by the fact that XYZ? How did I not know better? That's always my go-to. I don't even have lashes on and my eyes itching me. Fucking allergies. But no, like seriously, like, so they're mentioning, okay, so the story goes, he was bad in school, did time in juvie, all of this other shit, was always, a troublemaker. He ends up in some problems, goes to jail. He's in jail, he realizes he doesn't want to be there. He gets a little jail job. He memorizes the route. He realizes, like, oh, there's this, that, and the third. He does all of these things, blah, blah, blah. He puts on his regular clothes that he gets to work in under his jail clothes. Gets to, the what you call it, gets to the on the bus. When they pull up, he memorized the route, so he knew exactly when he was gonna get off. He gets off the bus, takes the clothes off, the jail clothes off. He has his regular clothes, runs to a bus depot, hops a bus to New York, which could never happen now, but hops a bus to New York, comes here, forfeits papers, finds niggas to forge shit for him. He done forged a birth certificate, all types of shit. Gets a new social security number, gets everything. Gets a job, meets this woman. So now the woman tells her story of everything, and she tells how, he wasn't never really supported. Well, not really supported, but he wasn't really like intimate. He wasn't loving. He didn't hug. He didn't kiss, blah, blah, blah. She thought he just grew up weird. But in all actuality, this man was living with a secret that you had no idea. None. Like his, what's the word? Separatist behavior, or his, emotional neglect could possibly come from the fact that nigga is not who he said he is, and he felt bad and felt deceiving you. And all I could think of is like, if he's not kissing and y'all not hugging, how was y'all fucking enough to have 4 kids? Like, I can understand not kissing, cause no, not your husband. I'm lying. I was dead about the lie just now. I can understand not kissing these niggas. I can't understand not kissing your husband. I can understand not wanting to hug and cuddle with a lot of these niggas. But I don't understand not being able to hug and cuddle your husband. I don't know if I could have lived 40 years in an emotionless and loveless marriage. I make fun of my ex-fam all the time. Her and her now husband, at the time he was her boyfriend, we used to go out and, like have dinners and, get food together and shit. And sis used to ask him for hugs. And I used to make fun of her all the time. Like, she would want to hug him. They would hold hands on the table or under the table. Like, she would always, want to be hugged and touched and all of that stuff. And I used to go all, mushy and all of that, blah, blah, blah. But I get it now. Like, I get it completely. Like, if your man is not affectionate, you may have to ask for those things. But if he loves you, he's going to comply. I can imagine if I would have saw my friend ask her boyfriend, then now husband, oh, can I have a hug? And he'd be like, nah. Like, I could, like, my head would probably explode. Like, the fuck you mean? You better hug her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't imagine it being the other way. So to hear of Cheryl, her name is, to hear of Cheryl living with a man for 40 years, he didn't open up to you. He never wanted to talk about his family or where he was from. He didn't want to hug or be intimate outside of fucking on you and having them kids. But yet you're in the bed with him and find out that this man is not who he said he was, gets taken to jail. He does the bid. You help him get out. Because she was rallying for him, calling all types of representatives, doing all types of shit. You do all of that for that man, and he comes out, and you still might not be able to hug and kiss and touch on him. I would lose my shit. I would lose my shit. I would collectively, totally, whatever word, adjective you want to use, I would have lost my shit. And that's just me. I'm not even the most affectionate person. I'm not even the most, lovey-dovey, mushy person. But nigga, if I want a hug, I'm getting this motherfucking hug. You gonna hug me, damn it. Like, that's just not. There's no other way to go. I wish I was on my live right now, because I know my homegirls would be going off, because they all pretty much said the same shit. Like, yeah, everybody talking this, Cheryl stayed with him, Cheryl da-da-da-da. And it's like, the hell? All these nuts. Like, he got me all the way fucked up. I don't know if I would have did that bid with that nigga. I don't even know you. You not the nigga I married, so why am I obligated to do this bid? Oh, because we said for better or for worse? I said for better or for worse to Bobby Love. I don't know who the fuck Walter Miller is. I don't know this man. I hope I don't sound ridiculous, but dead ass. So I don't know. Maybe this is the point where y'all could like interact at a later date. Maybe I want to hear from y'all. Instagram me, tweet me, Facebook me, Could y'all be a Cheryl? Could you be with a man for 40 years, or even a woman for that matter, as a man? Could you imagine as a man, you with a woman, you with her for 40 years, y'all are laid up in the bed, or she's making breakfast or whatever, and the cops bust in your door, call her a name that you've never heard before, and then tell you, oh, you don't know this person, she's wanted for murder or whatever in another state and has been on the run the entire time y'all been together. You holding her down? You doing that bit with her? You gonna take care of the kids? Well, no, they said their kids was grown by the time it happened, so that don't count. So yeah, you gonna hold her down at the bed? You gonna wait for her to come home? You gonna rally for her to get let out, and you're gonna go talk to the preachers? Cause yeah, the man was a deacon in church. Like Walter went all out. Like Walter went all out to turn into Bobby. He done found the church. He done found God. He done became a deacon. He done had a whole ass job. He done tried to be daddy of the year, with all these kids. Like, could you imagine a woman doing that? And you standing by? You gotta let me know. Cause if I'm wrong, and if I ain't shit because I wouldn't have did the bid, then let me know. I may need to, reevaluate some things. I might need to think about it. But as of right now, as of the year in the year of our Lord 2020, uh-uh. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Not I, said the cat. So yeah, y'all gonna have to let me know what y'all think. I talked about the Meek and Mr. and Mrs. Petty again. Um, yeah, I think that's it for what had happened. That's the end of that. Um, I'm gonna take a break, and I guess I'll come back with the main topic of discussion. This is gonna be my I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet. I was about to lie and make something up, but that's not what I want to call it. So we're going to see. BRB. ANANAS. I gotta record this shit again. I'm tight. I'm tight. I'm tight. Nah, I'm kidding. But no, seriously, I'm still learning this shit. I gotta use the cord. I can't use the headphones and the speakers because then I can't tell the difference between hearing myself with the speakers versus hearing myself in the headphones, because I sound perfect in the headphones, right? But I tried to be cute and go wireless and fucked up and then let a echo happen. So now I gotta learn how to get rid of that shit. But it's all a process. It's all a process. I'm figuring in the shit out. But am I recording? Is this bitch recording? See, I usually don't like to smoke on camera and shit like that, right? Because my mom used to have me so scared. Like, don't let people know your business. Don't put it out there. Don't smoke on camera. Don't blah blah blah. But that shit is decriminalized now. So it's like, if you want to come get me for smoking this little ass baby spliff, then fuck it, come get me. Come and get me. Nah, let me not say that. Nah, don't come get me. Leave me the fuck alone. Go get the real drug dealers and the real criminals. Leave me the fuck alone. Like, that ass. Leave me alone. I ain't, a issue. But, yeah, so I wanted to finish everything off, round everything off with, this last, thought, the last segment. Uh, I don't know. I don't know what I want to call this segment, but this is like the topic that I feel like deserves the most conversation. And let me stop trying to preface it and just go ahead and say it. So, can we stop shaming women for not having female friends? Hear me out. So it's been a joke that I've heard a number of times where it's like, oh, you can't trust a woman with who doesn't have female friends. And I used to be one of those people who believed that, right? I used to be one of those people who was like, yeah, if she can't get along with women, and she's a horrible person and blah, blah, blah. But then I had to think about it. And it's like, when I think about females who I've called friends in the past, females who I call friends now, and women I meet and how they interact with other women and the things that they tell me about their, other friend circles. It's just like, now you can't really fault them bitches for not having female friends, because a lot of women are ain't shit. And I'm going to just full stop right there. We hear about women, sleeping with their friend's man to be petty. We hear about women, you know, um, being secret haters on their friends. We hear about women who, will just do all types of malicious and mean things. And then we want to shame other women for not being friends with these women. It's like, nah. We got to start letting it be known that some of these behaviors is not okay. I saw on Facebook Live the other day, right? This is a post that went viral. I don't know what happened with the story. I didn't follow up on it. But there was a young lady on Facebook Live. And in the background, you can hear someone who was alleged as her friend in the video screaming bloody eye water for some man to stop touching her, stop, inserting things, touching things that he has no consent to touch and be in. And the whole time the girl is just sitting on live. People in the comments are asking her, like, you just gonna let your friend get raped like that? Like, you don't hear her screaming like that? And Shorty is like, oh, that's not my business. This is a woman friend. Like, don't get me into talking about the men's toxic shit to where if there was other men present and would let that girl be screaming like that, and your homeboy is in the room with him and you hear a girl screaming like that and you don't go in there and not only save the girl but save your homeboy from a rape charge. We're not going to talk about that today. But today we're going to talk about the female friends who let their homegirls get into shit like this. The female friends who will rather forgive a nigga for raping them, doing them dirty, blah, 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 but won't forgive their female friends. Like, we talking about those female friends. Like, we got to stop shaming women for not having female friends. Like, that's got to stop. That's got to stop. Because until we can say that these women that we're friends, these female friends, until they can be women of substance, until they can be women of encouragement, until they can be women of honesty and truth and shit like that, then what are they worth to be friends like with? What is it worth saying, oh, I got mad female friends, or I'm okay that I got female friends, but y'all are all backstabbing each other, y'all are all lying to each other, y'all are all stealing and fucking each other's mans? Like, that's not worth being able to say, yeah, I got female friends. That's not worth it to me. I saw a meme that was like, why is it that women go to Miami and when they come back, they not friends no more? I don't know, because I ain't never had no female friends to go to Miami with. And that's just real rap. All my traveling is done with my niggas. I've never traveled with a group of female friends. My female friends have traveled. Some of them it's because they didn't invite me. Some of them because I wasn't around to be invited. Some of them we were friends, but we weren't that close of a friends. Like, I don't really have those girl trip, memories with a group of female friends. But that's both good and bad, because I don't have the bad experiences of, oh, this bitch didn't, pay the hotel, or this bitch did this, or blah, blah, blah. I mean, I guess my trip to LA that I talked about earlier, that could be considered a girl's trip because it was me and my homegirl. But it was just us two. I had my other homegirl meet us out there from Vegas. She drove from Vegas to LA and met us and spent the day with us. So I guess that could be considered. But, it was just me and her. And we didn't have no beef. On some days we did what she wanted to do. On some days we did what I wanted to do. Most days we did what we both wanted to do. And it was a great fucking time. We ain't have no beef, no issues, no nothing. She paid her half. I paid my half. We didn't have no problems. Now, is it that you add extra women into that mix and now you have issues? Maybe. Is it that bitches just be going on trips just to say they went on them and these bitches really don't be they friends? Maybe. Is it to say that, I, I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is you got to stop shaming these women for not having female friends, because a lot of females are horrible fucking people. They're horrible. Some of them are horrible people. Horrible people. Like me, I could say I've never been a I don't consider myself to be a bad friend, but I don't consider myself to be the best friend either, because I don't know one when to shut the fuck up. And that's just being 100% real. I don't know when to shut the fuck up. Sometimes I feel like if you my friend and I care about you as my friend, I'm gonna say what I feel like I gotta say to get you to do the thing that I think that you should do. And if I see you doing some dumb shit, I can't just turn a blind eye to it. And I know they say that, in friendships you gotta pick your battles. In all relationships, not even just friendships, in all relationships, you gotta pick and choose your battles. You gotta pick and choose when you can and cannot say certain things. And I haven't mastered that with female friends as of yet. I'm still struggling with that. And that's just real rap. I'm learning more so now to phrase things differently and to not be so accusatory or so, mean about it. But I'm still learning when to exercise my right to be silent. Haven't mastered that yet. But no, in all seriousness, yeah, like I get asked to come out to parties all the time, right? Like I know mad promoter dudes. And they always like to be like, yeah, you should come to my party. You should come to my event. I'll put you on my list. Da, 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 this and the third. And then they always follow it up with bring some of your friends. Bring some of your friends. And I hate that. I hate that. I hate when you niggas ask me to bring these bitches. I hate it. Because I don't have that group of homegirls where I could just be like, yo, bitch, we out. I don't have that. My friends, they got other friend groups. My friends got other things going on in their lives. My friends be out here like I have friends for certain things. I have my friends I go to brunch with. I have my friends that I talk on the phone with. I have my friends that I will travel to go see. We don't live in the same area, but I'll go to where they at or they'll come to where I'm at or we'll meet up somewhere in the middle. I have those. I don't have that girl group chat where it's like, hey bitches, we out to da 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 tonight and we all squad up and blah blah blah. It don't happen. So anybody who ever want to judge me based off of that, then go ahead, judge away. But I know that that doesn't come from something with me, or maybe it does. Who knows? Maybe it does. Maybe it does. I mean, I'm biased. I'm supposed to think I'm amazing. I'm supposed to think I'm the best person to be somebody's friend in the world. Of course, I'm supposed to believe that. That might not be true. That probably isn't true. But the fact still remains that I don't feel like anybody who, like me, has had female friends do them dirty, have turned on them, have been secret haters their whole lives, who have, done things purposely to try to hurt my feelings or get a reaction out of me or to do things. Like, when you have certain situations like that happen, sometimes female friends ain't in the cards. Am I grateful that I do have the few female friends that I do have? Absolutely. Because we've been able to have those conversations, build those bonds, talk about those things like, yeah, you fucked up. Yeah, I know I fucked up, but I fucked up. You fucked up, but I fucked up too. Da-da-da. Like, I've been able to have those things. Not everybody has that, and I think that goes to show a little bit of something as well. But people got to stop judging women specifically, because they never say that about men. Men could be out here saying, oh, I ain't got no friends all day, every day, and nobody will ever say nothing about them. A lot of times we realize that that's a lie. When niggas say that, that usually means either A, all the women that are their friends, they're fucking, or B, they're like socially awkward and something ain't all the way up. But even still, nobody ever like holds them to task about it. Like nobody ever really comes at their character about it. A nigga could be best friends with his girl, best friends with his family, best friends with, niggas he work with or whatever, and that'll be A-okay. But a woman, if she don't got no friends, if she don't got no squad that could pull up and da-da-da-da, like, oh, y'all look at her like she's a fucking social pariah. Like, what the fuck is that about? Where did that even come from? Where did it come from that women had to have a bunch of friends? Y'all call bitches fake anyway. Anytime it be them groups where it's like bad bitches only or baddies link up and blah blah blah, y'all go through that shit and clown all them. Oh, them bitches don't really like each other. That bitch is in secret competition. That bitch slept with that bitch man. Da 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 da. So y'all don't be believing that shit anyway. So why uphold the standard that motherfuckers don't even believe in? Like, what sense does that make? I feel like if a person has no friends, like whether it's female, male, alien, dog, whatever. If a person has no friends, then you probably deserve to judge them. Maybe. Maybe. But stop coming at women. And when I say stop coming at women, I mean stop coming at me, but I'm talking about me in a general sense to be more relatable and shit like that. So yeah, stop coming at people for not having female friends when female friends will have you fucked up. Look at the little girl in Chicago. Rest in peace, Kanika Jenkins. That story will forever be in my brain. Y'all go to a hotel, y'all partying, y'all on live, y'all this and y'all that, and then your friend goes missing. Nobody looks for her. Nobody checks on her. Nobody tries to see what's going on. I remember one time I was out with my homegirls and her Spanish friends, and I got smacked. I didn't want to admit that I was smacked, but I was smacked. And my homeboy pulled up. So when he pulled up, I was like, "Yeah, let me sit in your car real quick. I forgot what I told him I was gonna do, roll up or something." But I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be in the car. When I'm done, I'm gonna come and meet you." My ass went to sleep. Backseat of the car, laid out. I woke up when they got back in the car to like hella missed calls, text messages. My friends was looking for me heavy. And one, I felt good because it's like, all right, well, they was concerned about me. I hate that I didn't answer. And I had to message them right back. Like, yeah, my bad. I went and took a nap in the car. I should have told y'all. But it was one of those situations where it's like, yeah, like my friends wanted to know where I was at. I couldn't imagine myself being smacked and stumbling off somewhere and nobody came to look for me or tried to find me. Or vice versa. If one of my homegirls disappeared and we don't go look for her or some shit like that. I'm just a little bit different. But this whole, female friendship shit, it's like too many people are friends out of convenience. Too many friends are, too many people are friends because of how it looks. Oh, it looks good. She got a fat ass, I got a fat ass. She's cute, I'm cute. Oh, so now we friends. We gonna post up, we linked up, we this, we that, we about to be, or like that's not a I'm not saying that that's not a friendship. I was going to say that, but I'm not going to say that. I just think that friendships should be based on things of substance. And if you cannot find enough women of substance and women that can be stand up people, then it's not your fault that you can't or you don't have female friends. It's not your fault. Shit, another reason why I feel like niggas gotta stop doing that shit is because I've witnessed enough friendships to where y'all are not even the best judges of what a friendship should be anyway. Like, if you really want to get into it, like, if you really want to talk about it, like, there's niggas out here that are friends with motherfuckers that y'all call him broke, y'all call him dirty, y'all call him dusty, y'all call him this, corny, blah, 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 but that's your man's, though. You will go out with him, you'll pay for his drink, pay for his entry fee, pay for this, pay for that. You'll hype him up, be his wingman to bitches, and then we'll come back and call him all types of broke. Y'all are also friends where y'all will fuck each other's girls, baby mamas, sisters, cousins, aunties, mamas, all of this. Y'all will do all of this to your mans, but still, that's your mans though. That's the bro. So y'all not even the standard of what friendship should be. The only thing I will say is that men friendships will stick, like them niggas will stick together. Like they will excuse shit and stick together like no other. Like no other. That's the one thing I will say I do admire about male friendships is that all of that shit, like a nigga fuck your bitch, blah blah blah, y'all will be mad, but then y'all gonna end up talking again, probably start comparing notes, probably then trash shorty like she did something. She did do something wrong, but y'all gonna trash her like it's all her fucking fault, and then be fine and go about your business the next day. That I do admire. And that's what I do admire about my friendships with my male friends. Is that they tell me shit that I may not want to hear. I tell them shit that they may not want to hear. But at the end of the day, we maintain a certain level of respect for one another. And we going to keep it pushing. Like, I go through shit with my male friends, too. I don't want to talk to you right now. You pissed me off. You said some shit I didn't like. Fuck you. But then, shit. Funny enough, it done got real bad with me and my homie to the point where like my mom's is involved. Like, nah, y'all gotta stop this fighting right now. Like, y'all have been friends for way too long for y'all to have been beefing like this. And that's literally what made us, become homies again. It was like we tried to air it out and we was not, come seeing eye to eye on some shit. And my mother had to intervene and be like, nah, y'all been cool. Y'all gotta stop this. But yeah, I'm just saying, it's just something that crossed my mind. I don't remember how or why it came up, but it just don't make no sense to me. It never did, and it never will. Judging a woman based off of her female friends, like that's crazy. That's crazy. Because as much as we hate to admit it, we women are finicky as fuck. Every woman is a combination lock. And no, not a combination lock. I take that back. Every woman is a RSA key. And every couple of minutes, that key changes. Every so often, that key gets regenerated and the numbers change. And it's a different combination to get in. Every time. Every time. Every time. And that's unfortunate. It sucks. It sucks for men to have to deal with it, but it also sucks for other women to have to deal with it because we know what that comes from. We know why women are finicky because we feel it in ourselves to be that same exact way, but we don't handle it the same way. That's the difference. We just don't all handle it the same way. I have some female friends who have always been able to tell, I don't want to say tell the truth to, but speak my truth to. Like I've had female friends who I'm like, yo, I don't really appreciate that you doing this. I feel like you being mad petty. Why you being petty? And we'll argue about it. We'll, go back and forth, get upset. But at the end of the day, we understand where it comes from, and it always comes from a place of love. It always comes from a place of trying to help. It's never I'm trying to put you down. Like bitches who do like those sly underhanded comments that they claim they trying to help or some shit like that. Like being shady is one thing, but being like sly or like I don't know, like it's a difference. Like I get called shady all the time, but for me, I'm not being shady. I'm literally trying my hardest to say something that's difficult in a non-difficult way. It's not being shady. Like I can tell you when I'm trying to be shady. Like I could tell, trust me, I could tell you. But a lot of times it's more so like I don't know how to tell you that you're making a bad decision right now. I don't know how to tell you that your actions that you're expressing to me is legitimately going to be what blocks your blessings in the future because you don't need to do that. I don't know how to tell you that the route that you're, going down now or the things that you're doing now may not be the best avenue for you later. And I'm not saying that my advice is the best. I'm not saying that everybody got to go out their way to listen to me. Like, who the fuck am I? But I'm just saying, as a friend, I would be wrong, or I would feel wrong if I wasn't the one to try to say something to you before shit went the way that it could possibly go. And I'll be the first one to be wrong too. Like if I tell somebody some advice and they don't listen to me and they do how they want to do and then it works out, I will be the first one to admit like, oh, I did not see that happening. I saw this going a completely different way. And I will say that. But as a friend, like I don't want people to ever think that if I say something that's undesirable or I don't know what the other word would be, but yeah, if I've ever responded to you unfavorably to something, it's never from, that negative place. But that's not the same of every other female. So, just judge people based on who they are and not the connections and the friendships and the, whatever that they have. Because there's a lot of you niggas that's out here orphans. Like, let's be all the way real. There's a lot of you orphan ass niggas that don't got no friends, no family, nobody fuck with you. And we supposed to take you as is and not question why nobody's in your corner. We're supposed to have all the sympathy in the world for why nobody fuck with you. But here you are judging somebody for not having female friends. Like, we gotta quit the shit. So, because I don't want to give myself too much editing to do, I think I'm gonna end this here. Next week, I'm gonna start actually like being more productive and not just letting everything be about this little girl. I'm gonna start getting up, getting my shit together, and we gonna do this thing. So yeah, until next time.